points in the SEC, and we will do this one over again.
Now, referees didn't eat their Wheaties today. She didn't throw that ball up high enough. Doing it again. Brenda Patoya, the lead official, one of the real veterans of NCAA women's college basketball. Yeah, I think she's wanting a little attention here.
Cunningham and McDonough do it again, as Aaliyah Crump will come up with possession for the Longhorns.
As expected, JMU in a half-court man-to-man defense. I was surprised Maddie Booker quickly getting into the paint for the Longhorns, drilling the first two of the game.
Take a look at the starting five for JMU, including returners like McDaniel. Of course, a breakout night the other night for Robinson, who put up a career-high 22 in the matchup against Villanova. As for Texas, again, Rory Harmon last year against JMU eclipsed 1,000 points in her Longhorn career. Now beyond 1,200.
Very impressive that a freshman, Aaliyah Crump, in the starting lineup already for the Longhorns. How about Cunningham? Beautiful job looking over that right shoulder, finishing with the left hand.
Little floater the other way, won't fall this time for Zakiya Stevenson, the Ole Miss transfer.
Cunningham getting off for a good start for Texas. Nice defensive rebound.
Texas shot very well at JMU last year. Rory Cunningham, the third different Longhorn to chime into the box score early on. Robinson transition out of the left hand, gets the first two tonight for the Dukes.
Well, beautiful pass up the floor that time for JMU, getting their first two of the game. But how about that basket on the last possession by Texas with Rory Harmon getting a great kiss off the glass?
Robinson had 6 points against Texas last year. You already saw that she was a former track standout in high school.
Nice touch pass by Jordan Lee, making that bucket possible.
And Cunningham coming over from Arizona out of the Big 12. This will stay with the Dukes.
Well, Texas off to a good start on the offensive end. 4 baskets on their first 4 possessions.
JMU last year was competitive against Texas in the paint of all places, where they were just outscored 38-36 against the Longhorns. Big performances off the bench as well for JMU, but ultimately they would fall by 31 points.
Good defense by Texas on that out-of-bounds play for JMU. How about that? Rory Harmon, 4 already. She's just averaging 7 a game this season.
Texas has not needed the offense from Rory Harmon, the all-everything here early in the year. You have a feeling that might change when the competition really starts to stiffen up.
What hasn't changed is what we saw right there. The best defensive performer that Coach Vic Schaefer has ever had. In his own words, you could see the harassment she provided right there on this JMU possession.
Yeah, will not let up tonight.
City for McDonough coming in there. Nice job holding their position, getting that tap in. Good drive by Barnes, but just a beautiful job by McDonough holding her spot in there on the block.
Found there on Aaliyah Crump, talking to Sean O'Regan earlier today about Grace McDonough, the freshman. I think she needs games like this to really be tested and have a chance to break out.
Well, certainly this is a great challenge for any team that comes into the Moody Center. They're going up against one of the top 4 teams in the country. Chance to work on all phases of your game against the best.
Booker last year was 10 of 13 shooting against JMU. That's her first miss here early on. And McDaniel almost held up. They'll simply say turnover. Back over to Longhorns. This was Vic Schaefer, again, head coach of the Longhorns, now in his 6th year at the helm, who has had the luxury these past few years of working with Rory Harmon as his point guard on both ends of the floor.
Boy, what a great teacher that man is. He and his entire staff teach so well. I was at the shoot-around today, just admired how they work with these young ladies in preparation for this game.
He's taken his teams to the Elite 8 7 of the last 8 years. That's both Texas and Mississippi State.
And he was part of that national championship staff at Texas A&M way back in 2011.
Booker with help from Jordan Lee. Lee in the paint, stops, pops off the back iron.
Oh, nice job by Lee using that left hand, though, to get deep into the paint for the relatively easy shot attempt. Tandem in America right now, then Rory Harmon and Maddie Booker doing it at their best right here. Look at this pass. You're going to see Harmon, what I said a while ago, our own coach says best defender in the country, now making the statement that she is possibly the best passer in America. Great pass right there to Booker for the finish.
Texas showing off, able to bring Kyla Oldacre off the bench. Three-point play for Maddie Booker in Texas. Sidbury will come in as well now for Crump.
I just love any player that puts a high arch on their free throws, giving them a better opportunity for the friendly bounce. She got it right there as a result of that high arching shot.
Off the floor with Ashanti Barnes, third team All Sun Belt last year. And we'll lead by pickup Robinson. Oldacre with the rebound. Lee looking to lead the break the other way. Dukes do a good job getting back with numbers.
That was a good move by Robinson then for the Dukes. She had 22 in their game against Villanova last week.
Kyla Oldacre with the spin will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, Oldacre, she is tough to handle in there. Of course, one of 7 McDonald's All-Americans on this Texas roster this year. Started her career at the University of Miami in the ACC and had a great year last year here in her first year on the 40 acres.
Every year for Kyla seems to be better than the year before, as that trend continues here in her final season.
Yeah, you had a nice visit with her after the game last week.
Again, everybody embracing their roles. Oldacre, Vic Schaefer thinks, could very well be a top 5 player in the country with her potential. Had 4 block shots last year against JMU.
A nice touch. The only weakness in her game, really, she came into tonight's contest only having made 12 out of 24 free throws on the season.
Yeah, shot about 70% last year. Sidbury not making it easy. It falls in the lap of Harmon somehow. No damage done. The rebound by Kylie Marshall.
Yeah, Kylie Marshall with the ball, played at Texas A&M her freshman year, then transferred to SMU, now in Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania.
She's recovering from a broken hand during the preseason.
Great drive by Barnes right there. Saw that crack in the Texas defense, went hard, got the kiss off the glass. Nice move by Barnes.
JMU coming away with points after they had had 3 turnovers on their prior 3 possessions. Oldacre 1v1, they'll take that every time.
Yeah, that's not going to work. McLeod got caught right behind Oldacre, and now you're not going to stop her one-on-one that deep in the paint. Got to front her or side her down low.
McDaniel, and the 5th-year senior, matched up with Jordan Lee. 9 to shoot for the Dukes. Both hands in the face, an air ball, and it'll wind up in the lap of Rory.
Texas, as I said, making her the focus of her defense. She has not scored yet in tonight's game.
Booker in for a closer look. Little fadeaway off the front iron. Rebound comes down to Barnes. Off the glass.
Yeah, she's just taken Sidbury 2 times in a row. Sidbury, of course, her first year in this Texas defensive plan, transferring here from Boston College.
Open look won't go. Oldacre with a Duke or 2 on her back. Can't get it to go. Robinson lost the basketball, then commits the offensive foul. Texas preseason favorites in the SEC. JMU preseason favorites in the Sun Belt.
Era.
Rory Harmon baseline with the double team clamping down on her. Means she has an open teammate. That happens to be Kyla Oldacre, who's going back to the free throw line.
Boy, tremendous dexterity there by Oldacre. I like the moves she makes right here. Reading the defense quickly. Of course, earlier she looked over her right shoulder, saw nobody there. Watch this right now. Gets very creative with her footwork, spinning back to her right, drawing the foul. Very active here in this first quarter. Yeah, shooting that free throw now much, much better. I mentioned she was only 50% on the year coming into this game, but I saw her working on it at shoot-around practice today and had a beautiful release going, keeping it going here tonight.
She is now 3 of 4 tonight.
Now look at her picking up full court now defensively.
Stevenson able to maintain possession for JMU.
Oh, that's terrific pressure defense continuing by Texas. That's the big nemesis of every team that goes against the Longhorns. They play defense so much better with so much more intensity than most of these women's teams do.
How many nights can you tune in to women's college basketball and the director is going to cut from a shot of a Rory Harmon-esque player to a Maddie Booker-esque player? A luxury here in Austin.
Booker averaging 14 points and 3 rebounds this season so far.
First 3-pointer for either team here early on.
Jordan Lee came into this game making 6 of 18 on the season, so they would like to see her shooting a little higher percentage than that.
Robinson looking for help, being pestered by Harmon.
There you go.
5-second closely guarded call, the turnover forced by Rory Harmon.
I think what Vic Schaefer said, she's the best defensive player I've ever coached. I'm believing it more and more as we sit here so close to the bucket, to the court, and can see that intensity every time.
Former Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Only reason why she didn't get to repeat that accomplishment a couple years ago was the knee injury. And a carry will be a turnover on Texas.
You know, that's something that probably happens more than it's ever called. Lead official Brenda Pantoja right there calling that carrying the basketball. It definitely was, but it's not called very often.
So after JMU turned it over 7 times, that is Texas's first turnover tonight. And now 8 turnovers for JMU. Sidbury along 2, no. Booker taps it in play, but
great
over to Marshall.
Great hustle by Booker. JMU players are helping her up after the crash to the hardwood.
This is Angela Williams out of New Orleans, off the bench now for JMU. And JMU got a lot of their scoring, half their points last year against Texas, coming off the bench. 4 to shoot for the Dukes.
Oh, great defense. What a great double team up front.
Lee to Sidbury, one-on-one. Taya Sidbury embraces the contact. She'll go to the free throw line.
Boy, that is so tough. When Texas puts that quick double team on you, they know how to move their feet, move their hands, make it tough on every opponent. Taking advantage of the Dukes here in the early going tonight.
We saw Taya eclipse 1,000 points in her career a couple games ago against Louisiana, another Sun Belt program. She was an 88% free throw shooter last year at Boston College.
Yeah, she had her season high in the last game against Texas on the night. I think she was one of 3 Longhorns that had 18 in that game. She's a terrific addition. Started her career at the University of Utah, and then was at Boston College in the ACC the last 2 years.
Former Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of Utah. And another turnover for JMU, and that'll be the easiest thing for them to address here against the number 4 team in the country.
Well, JMU's not the only team this happens to. The Texas defense just so good.
10 turnovers have led to 9 points directly for Texas so far, while JMU has a total of 9 points.
Great ball movement by Texas. Good spacing continuing.
8 to shoot. Booker forgoes the initial look. And Oldacre will concede that rebound to Brianna McLeod.
Yeah, nice block out by McLeod there. She played at SMU last year.
One of 2 former Mustangs now embracing their time in Virginia. Oldacre.
How about that on-ball defense by Oldacre? Great hands when McLeod turned right into her.
A touch pass in from Harmon to Sidbury.
How about use of that left hand? I like players that are versatile, good dexterity.
Timeout, JMU. Texas on a 9-0 run and was about to force another turnover. If you blinked, you may have missed the assist from Rory Harmon to Sidbury.
This is why she's considered one of the top point guards in the country. Rory Harmon feeding it into the post. Sidbury getting another 2 for the Longhorns. Well, Roy Harmon, it's just so wonderful to see a player that's so committed to a program after that injury. She's come back tougher than ever. What I really admire about that young lady, Lincoln, she finished her bachelor's degree in 3 years, working on her master's degree now in sports management. She will be a great success in whatever she does.
Cami Etheridge already has her number up in the rafters. There's a good chance we could see number 3 up there in the near future as well, as she is very much in line to surpass Cami Etheridge before the end of this calendar year. Full court press from the Longhorns as now they'll ease up, bringing the ball up the floor again. Ashanti Barnes.
Interesting, JMU bringing their big players up the floor to try to handle that inbounds pass.
It is 4-on-2 Texas. Sidbury baseline.
A good move there by Aaliyah Crump, the freshman in the starting lineup for the Longhorns. Didn't get the friendly kiss off the glass, but good move. Nice job running the floor by the freshman.
Yeah, pardon me, Aaliyah Crump there along the baseline.
Oh, Oldacre is moving so well tonight. This is the best I've ever seen her move. She just seems so at ease. Is just making all the right